What is up, everybody? We are Cinema 3D, and today we're going to be doing the second part of our 5-part series called our 5-part extravaganza. Something like that, I think, right?
Top 5 extravaganza?
Top 5 extravaganza. This week, it is going to be filmmakers. So today we are going to be discussing what our 5 favorite, or who our 5 favorite filmmakers are. This is exclusively directors, so if we're talking about a producing credit, this does not count, so it limits any filmmakers who have dabbled in everything.
Yeah.
Your Michael Bay's in just every movie.
Producing, writing, anything like that.
Yeah, no, it's just we're going solely on their directing credits alone. And I like to even announce that from mine right off the bat, because while I might love some work that others have done with writing, only their directing is getting the brownie points here.
Absolutely. Brownie points.
So this week we are going to be kicking off with John of Cinema 3D, over then to Justin of Cinema 3D, and finally of Sam of Cinema 3D.
You.
Me.
So that's
John,
for last.
Yes, kickstart us off
Okay.
with your favorite
Better
filmmaker.
start off with a banger, bro. Oh, I will. You guys will not know.
5th favorite director.
We're not expecting this. All right, so
Jim
it's
Henson.
it's a Jim. Yo, is that the Muppets director, bro? Why did I know that? It's like one step away from Sheldon Cooper. That was awesome. Okay, so my number 5, my top 5 filmmakers. It's a filmmaker that shaped who I am as far as getting me into a specific genre. That is the monster movie genre. Everybody knows, well, actually you two probably just know, but now you guys know that I'm a big monster movie fan, specifically a Godzilla fan. I have tons of Godzilla films, memorabilia, the works. I'm a kaiju fan. This particular director, I just love how he takes monster movies that can be at times corny and have strong direction, strong characters, just overall great films. And the first film that I watched was a classic of mine, which was Godzilla vs. Mothra, 1964. It's freaking phenomenal. But his first film that he directed, as far as kaiju flicks, was the original 1954 classic Godzilla, aka Gojira. That is director Ishirō Honda.
Wow. Holy.
I had a different name in my mind. I don't know what the name is. Akira Kurosawa.
Akira Kurosawa is not a kaiju. It's not a monster movie director.
Is that an anime?
No. Akira Kurosawa. Akira Kurosawa is a Japanese filmmaker that did Seven Samurai and tons of other films. Great filmmaker. Ishirō Honda was a protege or a great friend of Akira Kurosawa, and Ishirō Honda actually would help create a lot of Akira Kurosawa films as well. Pretty much his mentor and respected Kurosawa. But Ishirō Honda is in my top 5 because he shaped my film loving as far as monster movies, and having messages in there that it's not just monsters coming in wreaking havoc or monsters beating the crap out of each other. There is some deep there's some deep stories in there and deep messages in there that I love, and the direction is always on point. And Ishirō Honda.
Well, that's incredibly interesting. Now, so he did Mothra vs. Godzilla, which was 64, right?
Exactly, yes.
And then how many Godzilla films?
He did Gojira, King Kong vs. Godzilla.
That was
1960.
Oh, okay.
1962.
That preceded. Wow,
Yep.
I didn't know that.
And it was Mothra vs. Godzilla, 1964.
Which that one is probably your most rewatched one?
Yes, that's the actual first Godzilla movie I ever watched.
If I remember correctly, when you were showing us,
You like that over the original Gojira?
I love the original Gojira, but as a childhood favorite, and the one that I watched over and over again as a kid, the first one I ever watched, Mothra vs. Godzilla.
That's great.
That's awesome.
That's my favorite.
I think that was the second one you showed us in the time. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, that one, and then what was it? King of the Monsters?
We went
Was
into
the
the
only other one we
70s or
really
late
saw?
60s after that, right?
I think we watched Gojira, then we watched Mothra vs. Godzilla. And I think we jetted right into. Honestly, we went right into Return of Godzilla, 1984.
But like as far as Mothra, the only ones we've really seen is Mothra vs. Godzilla, and then
and then an
King of the Monsters,
right?
King of the
appearance, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
That's crazy. They only had her in 2 movies.
you actually have her in a lot of movies.
doesn't she have a solo film as well?
I've seen.
The ones that you've seen. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Mothra, 1960,
Something.
1960, I think.
Before, so
I'm doing a bad
Mothra
job.
vs. Godzilla was a
Mhm.
team up movie of 2 pre-established characters.
Pretty much, yeah.
So you're saying that if you're making a versus movie, you should probably have a solo film before you jump right into the battle of the 2 heroes.
In theory, yes, that is a
Which-
successful thing.
Technically, the DCU did.
Kind of.
I mean, it didn't.
Oh, the solo film with Mothra came out before, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm wrong.
I was following your line of logic. I'm like, okay, but how?
I was looking up Mothra's date, and then I forgot what you guys were talking about.
Just an incredibly weird side note, but what if you watched Man of Steel and then watched Batman Year One and then watched Batman vs Superman?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that work?
I mean, it's weird.
Doesn't it feel like?
Wow.
Doesn't that feel like that could be like if you just threw in an animated movie into your continuity? Doesn't that feel like that could work as a middle film? Batman Year One is just the origin of Batman.
Or.
Hmm.
Why do we always want to talk about DC?
I know, but I'm sorry.
or-
This is just tangent.
Oh, it's all good.
I don't know, man. Like, what if you did Man of Steel? This is completely random. Man of Steel,
Just came up.
Batman Under the Red Hood,
Yes, you said it. That's exactly what I was thinking.
BVS.
What if you did? I'm going to throw you one more.
We're gonna keep going.
What if you did Man of Steel, Batman Year One,
I got
Batman Under the Red Hood?
Got it.
Yo,
What if you did?
Come on.
Man of
He's gonna make
Steel.
10 films.
Man of Steel, Batman Year One, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Then it's Under the Red Hood. Then it's
Can't do
BVS.
Phantasm though, because it's in its own.
Affleck looks just like.
No, he
no,
does, but it's too much of its. You can't take
No, I agree. I was just trying to be like, hey,
Oh,
I got one.
Mask of the Phantasm.
Let's keep this going.
Oh, that is an interesting point, though. I mean,
Yeah.
regardless whether it's Year One or Under the Red Hood in between.
Mhm. Both of those events.
Jeez, like,
Both of those events take place before Batman vs Superman.
yeah.
In that world,
If you are counting Year One as continuity to that, though.
Yeah.
well, anything to represent his beginning.
I mean, I think Under the Red Hood would work more because of Jason Todd, even though they said it's Dick Grayson, which is stupid. But Jason
They said it was
Todd-
Dick Grayson for Batman
Yeah,
vs Superman.
Zack Snyder said he was going to do Dick Grayson to be different, which
Yeah.
it's to be different.
Just
It's stupid.
we need to tag this on to the end of that DC
Yeah,
video.
that's
It's
That's one of a few things that I do not agree with Zack
Mhm.
Snyder's decisions on his DC movies.
He also said too that my Batman can get raped in prison.
Okay, what?
Can get raped in prison.
Oh, at least it ripped, and I was like, okay, but raped.
And I'm like,
why did he say that?
and I'm like, to what end?
Why,
What does that
why?
mean?
Like, what was the context?
like he can
of
do
that?
whatever he
To
wants.
be edgy?
Did someone say like,
Yeah.
can Batman get raped in prison?
No.
And also, who's yeah?
Anyway, wow.
That's really weird.
Under the Red Hood, in between Man of Steel and BVS, I think that would work perfectly because you introduce the Joker. You introduce
doesn't.
Batman. It doesn't. Because Jason Todd dies, and in BVS, Jason Todd is dead.
No, because
The true Jason Todd, not Dick Grayson.
right, and
Grayson, the whole thing though.
they never say Dick Grayson. But here's the problem: is
They
I guess
never
it
say
works. I guess it works.
Yeah,
The
they
only
never
thing
say
that really throws it off would be the design of the Joker.
Yes, but you don't see the Joker in BVS.
but she's the Joker.
But in my version, in the video, you eliminate Suicide Squad from the equation.
Yeah, but I guess if we're talking about just Man of Steel to BVS,
To BVS,
like considering Snyder's trilogy, well, I guess you do see Joker in Snyder Cut, but
you see him at the very end of Snyder Cut. But I mean, that can work. It's years later. Whatever.
that's an alternate
It's
timeline.
alternate timeline.
Yeah.
That could work.
I like this.
They get you
I like
Suicide
this.
Squad.
DC, where you at?
You're getting well. Yeah, you eliminate Suicide
gone.
Squad from the equation. That movie
Oh,
didn't happen. Well, technically, in my way, it still works better eliminating Suicide Squad by doing just a Batman movie in that
Yeah, the
timeline
Batman
place.
scenes in there are
Could have just been a movie. But what's your fifth favorite director?
yeah, that's true. I literally forgot what we were talking about here.
That's brilliant.
As you can clearly see,
podcast.
we love talking about DC.
Amen.
All right, so your fifth director was Ishiro Honda.
Correct.
Did I say that right?
You said it correctly.
All right, sweet.
Congratulations.
My fifth favorite director, which is weird for me to say because it's probably going to be lower than you guys pick. But the fact that it made it on my list should make you guys happy.
Oh.
I have seen, so what I did is when I named all my top 5 directors, I listed all the films that I've seen from them.
Yes.
Which I've seen 5 out of, no, I listed 8 films and I said I liked 5 of them a lot. So the other 3, not that I hate them, I just don't like them like as much as the top 5.
Right.
So my number 5 is Steven Spielberg.
Okay.
Top 5.
Top
Yeah.
5.
Top 5. I'll take it, man.
Yeah. So like I told you, I think a couple weeks ago when we were planning this episode, I was kind of shocked at how my top 5 ended up because when I did that whole listing, I picked how many movies I liked from these directors and I kind of rated it by that. If I liked all their films, they were going to go towards the top. If
That's
I liked
how-
a few, they were going to the bottom. Bottom is 5. But
So
anyway,
what were some of the entries from Steven Spielberg that made you represent him?
so I've seen Jaws, Raiders, E.T., Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Lincoln, Bridge of Spies, and Ready Player One.
Wow, that's a lot of.
And I'm pretty sure the 5 that I really, really like a lot is Raiders, E.T., JP, Jurassic Park, Lincoln, and Jurassic Park: The Lost World.
You're going to 5 down to 1?
No, just in general.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah. I was just listing
what
them
about
in
Jaws?
order of release. Jaws, I need to rewatch again. I don't know if you remember, but the first time I watched it, I wasn't. I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know this is weird and like hot take, but I wasn't as impressed. At the time, I didn't like older films. Now I
No,
do.
that's true. You're also talking maybe 5 years ago,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
maybe 6 years ago.
that was
Golden age.
2017.
Yeah.
So now if I rewatch it, I love it.
Mhm.
So like those 5 are the ones that I watched and at the time I loved.
Okay.
Now, having said that, Jaws, Bridge of Spies, and Ready Player One. Bridge of Spies was great. And I know Jaws and Ready Player One are great. It's just at those times, for some reason, I didn't like them as much as the other ones.
Right.
Which they might still end up as being less than the other 5 I mentioned, but I know they're all great films. Steven Spielberg probably can't make a bad film.
Mm,
And I feel like all top of our 5 directors,
No, I mean the odds are they're
not
doing
going to
good
make
stuff.
a bad film.
Actually, don't say that. Don't say that with me.
Don't say that.
You'll see.
He's got like John Malkovich in there.
But you really need to see Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, Christopher Walken.
That's Spielberg.
That's Spielberg. I love that movie.
We've
It's
talked
actually
about that so many times, and I've seen that on a lot of top 50 of all time. Like it's crazy how loved that movie is.
It is. I mean, it wasn't one of those ones that stands out in his like catalog as like one of his like the Spielberg films.
Yeah.
But
And-
it's such a phenomenal film.
This is a random side note, not as random as
As the whole
DC
thing.
one, but like that's how important a title is to a film, because I feel like Catch Me If You Can,
Super misleading.
super misleading.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, that's why I love titles so much, because if you don't title your film properly, or your song, or whatever you're releasing, your YouTube video, whatever, it's not going to hit the proper audience that you wanted it
Yes,
to hit.
absolutely.
And like,
The title's what I mean. It's your first introduction. It's what
Yeah.
do you want to convey?
besides the title, all you have is a trailer and the poster. If the trailer's not good, your film
Granted, poster of seeing Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks just looking at the camera, like
isn't it like a white background or something?
it is a white background, a
Yeah.
little dull. Yeah.
But that's classic too. So
Mhm.
But yeah, Steven Spielberg, number 5.
Number 5.
Okay.
All right, number 5 for me is going to be a little bit of a shock.
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider.
I don't even know what he's directed. I just know his name.
Rob Schneider is Adam Sandler's friend. I did see him live though, and he was fantastic.
You saw him live?
I did see him live,
At a
and Adam
comedy show?
Sandler and Judd Apatow, and
What the hell are you gonna tell us this now?
I didn't tell you guys.
Oh yeah, you told me you went to an Adam Sandler comedy show.
I went to
Oh,
see him
you?
live, and
What the heck?
yeah, probably some of the funniest couple.
That sounds like a
of my
vibe.
life. Oh, it was fantastic.
Did
And
you have some drinks too, and just
no,
just chilling?
just listen to Adam and his
That's
gym shorts.
comedy right there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Wow.
So my number 5 pick, and to preface, the way I did it was I looked at what my general overall favorite films of all time are, and it was based off how high the movies are and how consistently the director has hit a high point in my list, if that makes sense. So
That's like the same and different as the way I
yes,
did.
if there's 25 films, doesn't matter how high one film is, it's how consistently did they
Yeah.
make it in there and how high was the film
Yeah.
that made it in. So my number 5 is somebody who made my tentatively favorite movie of all time.
Wonder what that is.
Gee.
This is Robert Zemeckis, and he is entered in this for Back to the Future,
Mhm.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Still-
You really gotta watch that.
Oh yeah.
And the corresponding Back to the Future films. Did Forrest Gump as well, another great film.
Oh, I haven't seen that either.
But
We haven't seen. Have you seen that?
yeah, I've seen Forrest Gump. The only and Castaway he did,
Yeah.
which I have not seen.
I own that. I haven't seen it.
Oh, I don't know
And,
what
like,
just happened.
What? Like, I feel like he loves Tom Hanks.
Evidently,
he's like-
and Polar Express, which has a lot of
I
Tom
haven't
Hanks.
seen that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Tom Hanks.
I wouldn't be shocked if you told me he directed Toy Story.
I directed Beowulf,
John Lasseter.
Beowulf.
He did do Beowulf. That's right.
motion capture movie.
Mhm.
Does that have some horror elements in it? A little bit.
A little bit.
I feel like I saw that in Brazil.
That's random.
I was scared though. Like I was scared. So I don't know if I'm talking about the right film, but it was called. It had Beowulf in the name.
It's got
Mhm.
Angelina Jolie motion capture.
That's freaky. But anyway,
But yeah, so while Back to the Future is most likely up for grabs as my favorite film of all time, the next highest one would be Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is a little bit lower than some of the other entries that are found with these other directors on my list.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, the guy, I love the feel of his films. Always very, very upliftingness to them, make you feel good after watching them.
Absolutely.
And I love his work with Alan Silvestri, the two. That's a dynamic
yeah.
duo right there.
that's one of the best duos, I think.
It is. They
It's like-
complement each other
Up
perfectly.
there with Steven Spielberg and John Williams.
Exactly. It's kind of like Diet Spielberg and Williams.
Yeah. Holy crap, that's accurate.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Zemeckis and Silvestri
Mhm.
Here you go.
are Diet Spielberg and Williams, while not Diet Coke Spielberg and Williams.
Yes,
While Nolan and Hans Zimmer are Pepsi.
that's a good point.
Even though I like Coke better.
I'm okay with
The other
that.
way.
I just can't believe you put to put the composers and directors together and you
With so
with soda.
I don't know. He said diet, so maybe think
Yeah.
sodas.
Yeah, I know.
so now we're gonna
Anyway.
dish it back over to John.
Okay, boys. My number 4 for my top 5 I'm not looking. For my top 5 directors is a director that has been that homages a lot of classic cinema,
Mm.
especially Grindhouse.
Mhm.
And he has definitely created his own style, and you can tell it's his style almost instantaneously
Yes.
with the dialogue. That is Quentin
Yes,
Tarantino.
absolutely.
I actually just recently watched Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 again, and boys, we have to watch both together
Mhm.
because, especially this guy, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 are awesome, and it is a love letter to Japanese or Chinese kung fu cinema mixed in with Tarantino's feel,
Mhm.
westerns as well, just old school Grindhouse as well. it's phenomenal. But all of Tarantino, like Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Jackie Brown, which I discovered recently, which was also great.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Django, all of those. Like it's just phenomenal. Like Hateful Eight.
You do your classic sound.
My sound?
Django.
Django.
Have you seen Once Upon a Time yet?
Not yet.
No.
Yes, I am very much eagerly awaiting the time to watch that.
Yeah.
And I am very much anticipating that because it's classic Hollywood.
Yes,
Right?
very
So
is.
I am. Yeah. So I am very looking forward. Very much
Silver
looking
Age
forward to that.
Hollywood.
Yep. But yeah, he is great. He's also inspiration, dialogue, direction, acting, homaging cinema,
Mhm.
and just loving cinema in general, film as well. Loving
He's a fan.
film, loving celluloid. I love that. I don't want to get too pretentious, but yeah, I just love that he just is a proponent and a lover of film, and yeah, it's just phenomenal. He is, I don't want to say a dying breed, but he's phenomenal.
Mhm.
I understand if you did say he's a dying breed,
Absolutely.
because it feels like, not that directors now are bad, but it just feels like cinema's changing as a whole.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
It's sad.
He's like
Mhm.
he's the director that grew up with the heavy hitters that is George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, all these
Mhm.
all these Scorsese, all
Yep.
these directors that he grew up with, and he is a proponent. He's a person that grew up with those, and like us or different filmmakers now that grew up a lot with Chris Nolan and
Mhm.
things like that. So it's a very much
Generational.
very much a generational, and film is everlasting. Film is
Mhm.
generational.
Yeah.
Ooh, like that.
That is that's
That's mine. Don't steal.
that's going on a plaque.
That's gonna be cool.
Yep.
It's gonna be a TikTok.
TikTok.
Amen.
No, man.
Justin
I feel like I just listen to a masterclass whenever you or him talk.
and you.
Like,
Watch this.
Whenever I talk, it's just a high school class.
We'll
It's
take
but
us to school.
It's just
Right.
it's just a film club. It's just in high school.
Oh man. All right. So my number 4 director, my 4th favorite
Mhm.
director of all time. I feel like it's gonna come to both of you as a shock.
Maybe.
Doubt it.
Come as a shock to both of you.
Our two different perspectives. I said maybe, doubt it.
So I've seen 9 films from this director. Do not look.
I'm not looking.
All right.
Shit.
Sweet. I just want to make sure
Okay.
because I feel like you're gonna like this one.
No.
It's gotta be Jim Henson again.
So I've seen 9 films from this director.
Oh.
I really, really like 6 films from this director.
3 duds.
I feel like if I go into saying the names, it's going to spoil it. So I will say this director has been known to make epic films. He is one of those directors, along with my number 5 and along with the ones we've mentioned, that is known as a household name.
Ooh.
I don't know how old he is, but I know he's been around for generations.
Mhm.
That is none other than Ridley Scott.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
That was
I
so
have
right.
seen-
9 films.
I have seen Alien. I've seen Blade Runner, Black Rain,
I've not seen.
Gladiator,
Oh, you
Have
will.
not seen.
Hannibal,
will.
Prometheus,
You just want to watch.
Exodus, Gods and Kings, The Martian,
Wait, is it Christian Bale?
Yep.
Oh, that was him. Yeah.
The Martian with Matt Damon, and Alien Covenant. And the one that is coming out, which I am extremely simultaneously excited for and do not want at all, is Gladiator 2.
Oh.
Comes out next year. I don't know why it's happening, but it's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
But in Ridley Scott, I kind of trust. Sometimes as we've seen with Alien Covenant, his sequels might just be rehashes. But we'll see. Who knows? But yeah, the 6 that I really, really love: Alien, Blade Runner, Black Rain, Gladiator, Prometheus, and The Martian.
Did I hear Gladiator?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gladiator is my favorite film by Ridley Scott.
Okay.
Ooh.
By far. I mean, I haven't even made a Ridley Scott list, but like Gladiator's number 1, probably. I don't know, man. Black Rain is really freaking good. I
Yes.
love Black Rain. That's the one we want you to watch.
Absolutely.
Um, I would say Black Rain is number 2, and then it's tied between Alien and Blade Runner,
I think out of all,
number 3.
as of right now, it's Blade Runner.
that might,
probably for me.
that might need to be a watch, actually. Like,
Yeah.
soon here.
Hmm.
No, we need to watch that again. But
Yeah.
Ridley Scott, one of the greatest to ever do it. I guarantee you, a lot of these directors we're talking about have tried to
Mhm.
emulate him in some way, because every film he makes is just so grand and
Mhm.
bombastical, and it's just a phenomenal time whenever you watch a Ridley Scott film.
Absolutely.
He's my number 4 pick.
Bombastical.
I liked that. I know.
I mean,
It's like-
Gladiator, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, Blade Runner, they're all epic in their own
Mhm.
way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Exodus, Gods and Kings, regardless of
Mhm.
its flaws, it's still a visually epic movie.
Mhm.
Not stunning, but epic.
Well, awesome. Great choice. Number 4 for me would be somebody who I like even more than almost anybody on this list. But if we're talking about just directorial work, this is why they're at number 4. But all in all, in the world of entertainment, probably one of my favorite individuals, hands down. That is going to be none other than George Lucas himself.
Very nice.
That makes sense.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
was like, who could you say?
Yeah, no, I mean, George Lucas, obviously incredibly inspiring with his writing,
Absolutely.
more than his directorial work. But for directorial work, he still has Star Wars, which is a top 10 movie for me.
Yeah.
And then not to mention the corresponding sequels, which one of those, which I'll save as a surprise, is one of my favorite movies of all time. Not to mention he also has American Graffiti, which is also somewhere along those lines of one of my favorite movies of all time.
And he also helped to writing the script and the story for Raiders.
Yeah, and that's that's kind of like the other thing with George Lucas. It's like we're doing only directorial, but like
Yes.
I gotta.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because
Like a
he's
soft
tied.
push.
Because he's tied into the Indiana Jones films.
Mhm.
He's the one that begs, or not begged, but like wanted Spielberg to direct the
Yeah.
films.
He's in the credits of like all of them, right? As
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
creating.
He's a story writer.
pretty much. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, just with everything that he's had a hand in, he just
Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah.
But Star Wars is the one, and it's like obviously,
Yeah, absolutely.
so iconic, man.
Mhm.
Like the space opera.
Yeah.
So good.
I mean, it's one of my favorite things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But yeah, no, American Graffiti, that would be my recommendation from George Lucas to check out,
Nice.
hands down.
He's literally only directed 4 Star Wars films: American Graffiti, and then THX,
THX.
1135-8.
Yeah. So not too much directorial work, but you can't ignore Star Wars.
Hey,
He's got his hands all over cinema just with those 6 films.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Regardless what you think of them.
Not
Mhm.
not just that, but even just not writing, of course, but also ILM, visual
Mhm.
effects, all that stuff.
The whole thing. I mean, one of
digital
the
cameras, digital cinema. If it wasn't for George Lucas, digital cinema would never have been.
Yeah,
We would
that's
have these cameras that we're shooting with. Like,
you can't talk about the story of either film or entertainment as a whole.
Mhm.
Like the key moments that shaped the world, you cannot talk about those without talking about George Lucas.
Couldn't agree more.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So now we're dishing it back over to John with number
Okay.
3.
My number 3, boys, is a filmmaker that is currently just one of those sought after directors that just made a name for himself, created probably arguably one of the best trilogies ever, and helped really bring comic book films into the modern age. Whether that's a good thing or bad thing, up to debate. But he is like Tarantino. He is almost a dying breed, even though he's up there still. Does not want to retire anytime soon. He had a recent film that came out that was great, especially in IMAX, which he's a big proponent of. I am talking about director Christopher Nolan.
Woo, there he is.
Yep. He is amazing. His direction, his writing, everything is just superb. His concepts are great. Time is definitely something that he loves. Could you imagine him doing a Flash film if he ever wanted to?
Oh, wow.
That would be phenomenal, but
Yeah,
forget that. I'm sorry, but it's true. Because, like, holy crap, he would kill it. I know it. But he won't do it. So it's always it's a nice tease in that minds. But yeah, I mean, what's more to say? I mean, he pretty much I've watched every film of his, including
Mhm.
his that feature film that he did when he was still starting the following.
Yep.
It was that's great. You could feel you. It has a lot of Nolan elements there. You know, Memento. It's the Dark Knight trilogy. All of them. Inception. The director of the blockbusters that are smart blockbusters.
Absolutely.
And he's able to still generate a big box office, which studios are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, Oppenheimer, of course, the newest one was great. Interstellar, everything he does is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the fact that The Dark Knight Rises is his worst film,
It's saying a
that's
lot.
saying a lot.
Yo, Oppenheimer has made 850 million,
Wow.
See what I mean?
and that's a rated R 3-hour film.
Because of the subject matter, and
Mhm.
obviously because of him.
Yeah.
When you
absolutely.
see from director Christopher Nolan, yada yada, people
eyebrow
go to
raise.
him.
No, like we talked about, he's another household name.
He is.
People on the street know who he is.
Mhm.
Absolutely. He's the one that
100%.
goes. He's when you see his name on it, people will go.
Mhm.
That's actually rare.
Yeah.
And
He's also very, very down to earth when you watch
Yeah.
interviews. Like
The
he
one with
almost,
Robert Downey Jr.
yeah, that one's great. I love that.
oh yes, I was
He-
actually gonna talk
he
to you guys
almost
about that.
doesn't-
I love that
Mhm.
one, dude.
He doesn't really like when you watch it. He doesn't really like talking about himself.
No, he doesn't.
He is
Other people.
no exactly.
Absolutely.
He just loves cinema. He loves his work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen a photo of him and his wife Emma Thomas
Mhm.
go into the cinema, obviously with a mask and whatnot. But he went to the cinema with popcorn. he is a lover of cinema.
Yeah.
Him and Tarantino, they're like this.
Yeah.
Would love to get them on a conversation together. That would be so interesting to watch.
Let's try to do Quentin, if you're watching this.
Christopher, if you're
Nolan,
watching this,
hey,
Join us.
yeah,
George,
absolutely,
George, Lucas, we love you.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah, George, please.
But yes, boys, Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan, fantastic. John, great pick for number 3. Justin, what are we looking at here?
Okay, so since we took a little bit of a break, we had a little bit of a conversation
Yes.
off the record,
Off record.
and it made me mildly question my third pick,
Oh,
but not really.
you pull Loki.
That's interesting. Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it.
I see where we're going with this.
I love
I don't.
this director. I love this director. He may have a lot of flaws in his films,
Okay.
but regardless, he is still, in my opinion, one of, if not the king of visual storytelling. And that is definitely the main thing he shines at:
hmm
visual storytelling and cinematography.
Absolutely.
Whether he does it himself or he has someone else do it for him. And that is none other than Zack Snyder.
There you go.
Now,
Right.
I've only seen 5 of his films.
Really?
That's gonna change.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay.
It's sad. I have not seen Watchmen yet.
You haven't? Whoa.
I know.
Nope.
I know.
There's not.
Don't worry. We're gonna. I am actually Saturday. I'm gonna have him watch it with me.
There you go.
We're gonna
That's
watch the
good.
director's cut too. I haven't seen the director's cut
Yeah.
yet.
And I
That's crazy.
still have not seen Army of the Dead.
Neither have I. That's something that kills me, but it's okay. I'll watch that too.
And you know how much I love zombies.
Wait a minute. Army of the Dead.
You
Is that the
watched-
one?
You watched
Dave
that with
Bautista?
Randy.
Netflix.
I remember hearing your
Not
review.
Netflix original, my bad.
I know you guys didn't like it, but you know I have a good chance at liking it.
Yeah, you do.
It's zombie and Snyder. So
And Dave Bautista.
and Dave Bautista.
Does he really?
What?
Does he really?
Have a chance of liking it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Wow.
I hated it.
In our opinion, based on what we know, it's the last 10 minutes of the Snyder cut, but 3 hours in zombie film with Dave.
Absolutely, it is.
Wow.
So
Okay,
that's,
good.
that's a recipe
That
for 80% success with
Absolutely. And I watched behind the scenes of that type of lens that they use with the cameras and how it was crazy shallow depth of field.
0.8, like
Something around that.
stop or
Did
something.
that bother you? I know it bothered Randy, but did it bother you?
The-
The way it was
How
shot, the way
shallow, blurry it was.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
it did.
It did.
Yeah.
Oh wow. For me, my eyes suck dick, so I might be okay with it.
Yeah, that movie was rough.
But I mean, have you seen any other zombie content, like movie or show?
No, not really.
So that was kind of your first introduction to it, which is probably not the best.
No, Night of the Living Dead, the original, is probably the best.
Honestly, that and I would say Dawn of the Dead by Zack Snyder.
I wouldn't say this. I would say the zombies were entertaining in the film. I would say that the film was convenient, and there were a lot of choices made that were just like, you just got mad watching it because you were just like,
Was it predictable? Or just like
it was cliche.
just annoying?
It was very cliche.
Yeah.
You like just everything that it just felt like one of those movies, man. It just felt like
It's probably going to be a good time with alcohol and enjoying the shit out of it. We'll probably be like, this was amazing.
you can. Yes,
Yeah.
I think it's if you're watching it with a group, it's a movie that you can enjoy watching while it's on. But if you picked it apart, there's just so much to pick apart.
Okay.
That's how I see that movie.
Hey, man, sometimes you could just enjoy a movie.
Yeah.
Visual.
Mm-hmm.
The visuals and call it a day.
Yep.
Then when you start unpackaging it, then it's like, ooh, but
Just leave it
that's
to
a
the
lot of
visuals.
that's a lot of Zack Snyder's films, unfortunately. But there's also some hidden gems.
Mm-hmm.
Which I am definitely more of the Zack Snyder apologist, as you both know.
Right.
The 5 films I have seen: Dawn of the Dead, the remake of the original Dawn of the Dead by
Mhm.
I always know his name,
George Romero.
George Romero. Classic zombie movie. 300, which I actually recently
you have
saw.
seen 300,
Yeah, I
okay.
watched it with my wife,
Great.
and I actually enjoyed it.
You watched with Janae.
Yeah, she's seen that since she was like younger. So like,
Really?
she was like, "You haven't seen 300 yet?" And I was
I haven't seen 300. My mom loves 300 though.
That is probably the most man's man movie I've ever seen in my life.
I can see why your wife loves it.
Yeah,
You're saying your wife and my mom.
but yeah, so those two, then of course, Man of Steel,
Mhm.
BVS, and Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Now the new one I'm super excited for is Rebel Moon, coming out this December.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Turns out it's part 1 and part 2. Part 2 comes out in April of 2024.
I watched the
Trailer?
trailer. Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
man, that trailer, I don't care what anyone
I
says.
hope it's good because that's just like Dune Part 1 and 2.
It's
That's
very similar.
that's
The-
epic
the-
cinema that we need.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
It's like, it's what Star Wars can't do right now.
Should have been.
It's what Dune's doing. We haven't seen Dune, but I guarantee you it's better than recent Star Wars content.
I'm sure.
And Rebel Moon,
Yeah.
I have strong faith that it's going to be better than recent Star Wars content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which then that's actually a perfect leeway into my third choice.
Oh, that's right.
Ironic.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Ironic.
So
I forgot what I said.
Ironic.
Iconic.
So we were talking about the problems with Star Wars, but they were also talking about the problems with Marvel. Let's wind the clocks back.
Oh,
A few years ago, Marvel was on top.
oh,
And they were. And in particular, 2
Yep.
directors made some films that should go in the just legends box of superhero content.
do you not know, John?
And that is the Russo brothers.
Okay.
Or entered in for their work and just how high all 4 of these movies rank on my favorite.
Wow.
Yeah, you got Endgame, Infinity War.
And I quote Owen Wilson. Wow.
Wow. And I'm going to bring him in as well. Endgame, Infinity War, Civil War, Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
All 4 of those being 4 of just they're 4 of my favorite movies of all time. So that alone is obviously why they're entered in here.
Dude.
And those are my 4 favorite Marvel movies apart from MCU, apart from Jon Favreau again.
That's what I
Iron
thought you
Man.
were going to say at first.
Yeah. The
But-
only real movie that Jon Favreau has to weigh in is Iron Man.
Yep. But you love the movie so much.
And Elf.
But you love the movie so much. I
do.
thought you were going to be a little bold where it's like, no, his direction, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to, but I get it though. Russo brothers.
4 entries, strong entries.
Wow, dude.
And then You Mean Dupree starring Owen Wilson.
That's awesome.
Wait, they directed that?
Or they wrote it.
Hmm.
Either way, they were involved in it. I think they directed, that was their directorial debut, I'm pretty sure.
Yo, they did Extraction? I need to watch that. And Extraction 2.
That was the one with
Liam Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth, which I saw like the first 15 minutes of it, and it was like all one take, which was
Yes.
they also did a movie with Chadwick Boseman, didn't they?
21 Bridges.
Yeah.
And they did The Gray Man with Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling, which I heard from a couple people that wasn't anything to talk
Mhm.
about.
Then
I think so.
my crush.
Yo,
I miss it wasn't that long ago,
nope.
but
I mean,
what
the
a
last
different
film
era.
was, what, like 2019?
2019, and I miss
How long ago?
Russo brother era MCU. Please just try and make something good again.
Or just
Or no, actually, well, realistically stop.
Yeah. Welcome to Hollywood.
But it ended at Endgame for me.
Yep.
And won an ending brought by the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
So they get their credit.
man. So we got our top 3 out.
We got our top 3 out.
Man,
Go. Here we go.
Bouncing back over to John.
top 2. What are you gonna?
All right, boys.
Better
Christopher
some-
Nolan was at 3, so we got some
I know.
heavy hitters coming up.
I know.
Yeah, we did.
like
Oh, and I know
I got-
exactly who they are, but I'm not going to say.
I got.
I
Wait,
you kudos.
Yeah.
You know exactly who the 2 are?
I know exactly who they are.
I'm.
Question is, do you, Justin?
There's like 5 contenders right now.
I'm almost 100% positive.
No.
That I know
there's
who they
2. There's 2.
There's 2.
There's 2. Yeah.
Okay, here we go, boys.
I just don't know the order.
I think I
You
know.
know me well, you know.
Okay,
So
I know the-
this director shaped my childhood as well.
Yep.
Thank God my dad showed me at least the 2 films. These films I love dearly, especially the first one. Second one I love as well.
Mhm.
It's one of the greatest action movies ever. But the first one I love. That is how this first film is how you make a man watch a love story.
Mhm.
And boys, you've heard me say this countless times. I'm talking about the director of the Terminator. That is James Cameron.
Absolutely.
James Cameron
Man.
James Cameron is the auteur director, the man that can be a straight perfectionist
Mhm.
and will take the camera and do it himself.
Mhm.
But I love that.
Hmm.
He is sharp. His concepts are amazing. The fact that the Terminator is a fever dream that he had when he was sick.
That's awesome.
He's made multiple films that were like the biggest box office films of all time. Most recent is Avatar 2, which I still enjoy. And James Cameron I trust. And even I had worries that Avatar 2 wouldn't be as good as the first Avatar.
Mhm.
Went too long and whatnot. But man, I still enjoyed that film. But the 2 films I think are peak James Cameron, in my opinion, is The Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Hmm.
Those 2. The third film, Aliens.
There you
That's
go.
how you do a sequel
Absolutely.
to an already great film that is Alien, Ridley Scott's Alien. What do? You don't make another horror film.
Mhm.
Add horror into it, but then you make it a full-on action thriller. Brilliant.
Crazy how it's very similar to the pattern of Terminator and Terminator 2.
Yes, it is.
It's crazy.
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
and it's you guys both prefer Alien and Terminator,
Yeah.
and I prefer Aliens and Terminator 2.
Which
Mhm.
might be an Easter egg for our sequels list.
Ooh,
Could be.
very
Might
nice.
be.
I don't know.
It's not.
Very nice.
It's just like it's not. Had to get that clear.
But it
Nice.
could be.
It's actually Spied Kids 2, Pink Panther 2.
Oh,
I'm so glad you said Pink Panther 2. That's incredible. I love Pink Panther 2.
I've never seen it.
That's just.
That's like so random.
I've mentioned them a lot.
Yeah. Oh man, I did not expect you to put James Cameron at 2.
I did.
thank you.
I did.
Hmm.
I thought.
What's wrong with you?
I
You
feel
can't
like I
say-
know the number 1,
Think about
but like I thought it was gonna be Swap.
But think about it though. You guys have heard my top films.
Yeah.
You should. That's why he gets it more than you, because you forgot. You forgot. You forgot.
I know, but
Mofo.
that's
Think about it though.
that's one great film versus
Think about it. Yeah.
at least 3 that you talk about almost on the daily.
But one of them, another one, it only has one film in my top 5, but he's the master of horror. That is James Cameron.
There you go.
All right.
All,
Freeze.
all I gotta say is get on Sam Boy's level.
I do make it a point to know
Yes, that's also
Your
true.
guys' list.
He's very anal, so like.
All right.
yeah,
So my next question is: do you think you know my second pick?
No, that's the funny thing. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't even think anyone could guess this one
I know you're first.
because I was shocked when I figured out who my second one was.
I have no idea.
I did not think.
What did he
It's a
say?
good guess, but I did not think my second and my fifth pick were even going to be on my list. My fifth pick being Spielberg.
Yes.
My second pick being who I'm about to say once I describe this said person. So,
Suspense.
in classic fashion, I shall try to reiterate John in a different way, but give my own spin on said thing to confuse the crap out of you guys.
Wait a
To make you
second.
think
sense.
that it's similar, but also very different in the way this man directs, similar to his number 2 pick.
Mm.
That was so weird.
Yes.
Anyway, so I am very glad my dad did not show me
Ah.
these films when I was a kid. Because the fact that I watched them when I was older and more of a man, I could appreciate them more.
Yeah, no.
This director has made many amazing films.
I think I know.
2 series in specifically that I love the originals more than the direct sequels, but the direct sequels are still phenomenal.
Oh, yep. I got
That
you.
is James Cameron.
Oh, I don't got you. Wow, you threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it right now. I thought you were talking about Peter Jackson.
I wanted to put him on there, but like all he did was Lord of the Rings and Hobbit, so I
King
couldn't-
Kong,
No,
No, yeah,
not.
King Kong, but
Well,
like
no,
those,
He also did.
I've seen all 7 of those.
Beatles Get Back.
I haven't seen that, but like I Peter Jackson is one of my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
But like I couldn't give it to someone who I say only lightly, but like only did Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, and King Kong. I wanted more diverse stuff.
Mhm.
So James Cameron, man, freaking, I mean, I've seen 5 of his films, just like Snyder.
What's your favorite James Cameron movie?
Let me list mine first.
Okay.
So I've seen The Terminator, Aliens, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Avatar, and Avatar: The Way of Water.
Yeah, I've seen Titanic.
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Haven't seen Titanic. Haven't seen the one that takes place underwater.
Oh yes, The Abyss.
The Abyss.
Titanic too.
Electric Boogaloo. Whereas it's called like Titanic Submerged.
Titanic H2. No. It's Titanic H2O.
Oh no,
He turns
Michael
into
Myers.
Nobody would know that.
So then the films he's got coming out: Avatar 3 2025, Avatar 4 2029.
I mean, it's all Avatar. You could just
29, dude.
Yeah.
And Avatar 5 is probably 2047. I don't know. You asked for my favorite?
Yes. Oh, come on. Come on.
I'll raise you 2 options.
No, you should do.
No, I'll raise you 2 options, then I'll give you my one. The 2 options
Come
are The
on.
Terminator and Avatar.
Come on.
Oh, wow.
Come
on.
on.
He
Come
sounds-
on.
He sounds like Brad Pitt.
No, come on.
That's like Brad Pitt in 7,
You
bro.
should come on. You should come on. Well, out of those 2, which one is his best? Come on.
The best
Think
is
hard.
obviously Abbott. No, it's The Terminator.
Don't fool me, man.
No, if I had to rate all 5 I've seen, it's The Terminator. Wow, this is tough. The Terminator, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Avatar, Aliens, Avatar: The Way of Water.
See, that's gonna change when we eventually watch Aliens again.
Mhm.
I just think I could rewatch Avatar more than Aliens.
How? It's so much longer.
Absolutely.
Well, I like to watch movies.
You do.
Yes, but at the same time,
I don't know. I've seen
We'll get
Avatar a lot more. I've only seen Aliens
yes, that's
once.
the problem. Is that we'll change that.
And
okay?
T2, the greatest, well, top 10 scenes ever.
Yep.
That's the scene I remember the most from T2.
Romance.
The Terminator. I remember
It's
a
like
lot from that
job.
film. Avatar is just goated. Avatar: The Way of Water, I barely remember anything. Aliens, I do not remember a single thing, which is not, I mean, it's bad. I remember Alien.
Yeah.
And not Aliens.
We gotta do a.
I remember Aliens more than
We
Aliens.
gotta do. Well, no.
Man.
We gotta do a. we gotta rewatch Aliens. Then we gotta do Prometheus, but also Alien 3. directed by David
That's
Fincher. But the
Man, they got
the
all the big names coming in.
but the producer's cut. The producer's cut? No, it's the assembly cut. Much better than theatrical.
Okay.
That's what I heard apparently.
We have the Henry Ford cut here.
Henry Ford.
No,
The Model T.
I'll end with this. You might hate this. What was I
Probably.
going to say?
How do you know?
Oh. I don't know. This is just how I feel emotionally.
Oh,
You know how much I love Prometheus.
don't do this to me.
I
Don't do this to me.
would probably watch Prometheus over Aliens.
When we watch Aliens again and when they watch Prometheus, you tell me that again. Like I said,
I'm down.
You might say
no. I'm down. I'm just as of right now
because
I've seen Prometheus about 5 or 6 times. I've seen Alien once.
Say that
So
with confidence, and I will record when we watch both.
Oh wow.
After dark.
After Dark.
No, it'll be just one video where we post
He
that.
said no.
We will post that on Cinema 3D. And it'll be like Justin's reaction to watching Prometheus.
Yo, it's gonna be like a 2-hour video of John staring at me the entire time.
I'll be like, then I'll be like,
Oh
no.
gosh.
Wow, he got close.
man! Wow. Oh,
yeah.
So James Cameron,
James Cameron.
heavily unexpected, more unexpected than Steven Spielberg at
I got
5 at number 2.
I actually, I was not expecting it. There you
No, I mean I could see him in my top 5. I just did not expect him at number 2. That's just how it ended up with my whole like how many films I've seen and how many do I love out of the films I've seen from
go. Yeah.
Wow, damn, dude, that was a run-on sentence like no other. No commas.
But it made sense.
No commas.
I mean, yes, that makes sense.
All right, so
You do not know my number 2.
so
say
we got to
that.
do your number 2 and then
My
we
number
have to do the
2.
fun stuff.
Then the honorable mentions.
Yeah.
So number 2, I feel like will come as a big surprise.
I doubt it. Judd Apatow.
No,
Sean,
I love Judd.
I love Judd.
No, my number 2 is somebody who I always attributed to be my favorite director of all time. But then when I really broke down doing it this way, he did fall in at number 2. With one movie in my top 5
It's not Nolan.
and a few others sprinkled around in the top tier. But that is somebody else who you also cannot talk about the history of entertainment and the history of film without mentioning this individual. He's a key player in the grand scheme of the story.
Oh wait.
Steven Spielberg.
Oh, what the gosh!
Entered in for such
I should have seen that coming, bro.
whoa, but now I gotta know your number 1.
Oh, it's obvious.
so
Me and Sam are not.
Yeah, that's actually very accurate. But damn, all right, no, I get that though. You know what? I'm okay with it.
Did you remember?
I'm okay.
I'm
I'm
for the
okay.
audience.
I'm okay with it. It's because of what he said just now. It's good.
all due to the fact of when I look at my favorite movies of all time, who has the highest entries and the most frequent entries.
Boom.
Steven Spielberg is represented with films such as Jurassic Park, which is a top 5 film for me. Also, you have Jaws, Catch Me If You Can.
See, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this because I know it's number 1, but I'm okay that he said this though.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I know you're number 1 too.
Both of those movies, though, all fallen in somewhere in the top 50 for Jaws and Catch Me If You Can. The
How
next,
many films have you seen from him? Do you know?
Oh,
Like,
a
off the
lot.
top of your head. I mean, with
Jurassic Park, Lost World, E.T.,
Oh, E.T.
Jaws, the original 3 Indiana Jones films,
Oh my
But the same one
goodness.
movie that you didn't say. Probably
Hook,
didn't see.
Catch Me If You Can, Ready Player One. Yeah, I can just keep going. But so my problem with it
Close
is
Encounters?
haven't seen Close Encounters yet.
Yeah, I gave you the blue.
I know you did.
Lincoln Bridge Spies, Ready Player.
See, that's the thing with Steven Spielberg is I'm pretty much done with blockbuster Spielberg,
You are.
but I haven't done drama Spielberg yet. I haven't seen any of them. Haven't seen Schindler's List. Haven't seen Color Purple. Haven't seen
Empire of the Sun with Christian
haven't
Bale.
seen Saving Private Ryan. That's what I'm talking about.
Opening
that was Spielberg?
itself will blow your freaking mind.
And I was spoiled at one point, but I forgot, thank God.
If we're talking about
Good.
tonal feel of a film and what is brought to a film, Spielberg may be my favorite
Bro, it
director,
feels
just
good.
because of what what Spielberg film
It
is.
feels good.
like-
okay, so
Am I the only one that
this
thinks? Am I the only one that thinks that Steven Spielberg, when you watch a Steven Spielberg film, you taste popcorn?
Absolutely, you do.
Think about it.
No, yeah, I
Think
yeah,
about
agree.
it.
no, yeah, I'd agree with that. When I watch Nolan films, I taste nachos. No,
That's
what I
a
was
movie snack.
Yeah, what I was gonna say though, I don't know if this is just completely random and stupid, but like what Nolan did with Dunkirk, is that kind of what Spielberg did with Saving Private Ryan?
Yes, but better.
Hmm.
Because
It's more of a typical war film.
no. Well, kind of, but no. Especially when you watch. Think of it as 1917 meets Dunkirk
Holy crap, dude! You have
and elements of Schindler's List,
Wow.
which you haven't seen.
I've not seen, but
Holy smokes!
yeah, no,
That's the perfect synopsis.
Yeah.
There.
I've heard a lot of people say it's his best film, even.
I had to rewatch. I
Saving
watched
Private
it.
Mhm.
I watched the opening of Saving Private Ryan again, and yo, dude,
Did you
I'm
like?
surprised he got away with a lot of stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
where would that
War is hell.
land on your Spielberg ranking?
It's probably my top 10 easily.
Mhm.
Easily.
Yeah, I mean,
Closer to 5. Maybe because I'm also thinking of it as my taste, and
Mhm.
obviously objectively it's a better film, but there are
Yeah.
some other films that I can think more. But dude, I do think Schindler's List is better than Saving Private Ryan.
mhm.
That's not saying much.
my 5 Spielberg, in no order, but kind of in order, would probably be we're looking at Jurassic Park, Jaws, Catch Me If You Can, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then I'm going Hook, because Hook was my sick movie as a kid.
Dude, I
It's a lot of
Hook, and
nostalgia.
it
Like
had
when you
so
were
much
sick, you
charm,
watched
man.
that.
When I was sick, I craved Hook.
I loved Peter Pan as a kid.
Oh, so then if you love Peter Pan as a kid, then
No, I did.
No, I've been
no, you did.
Oh,
man, I've been saying
That's
for
what-
years we got to rewatch
It'd be
Hook.
very
Yeah.
interesting to see him with Hook.
Yeah,
I've never seen a live action adaptation of Peter Pan at all.
Let's play some older and
an adult
Pan
Pan,
lost
Dustin Hoffman.
his child feel,
Mm-hmm.
and Dustin Hoffman plays Hook.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
It's a fantastic movie.
It's very sweet.
I would
It's very
it is.
sweet.
There you
That's what
go.
it is. It's
I'd
very
be
sweet.
down to watch that. I would want to watch the original Peter Pan again before
You
I watch that.
probably should.
Yeah, I mean, you get the
You do get the gist. Correct.
gist. You don't really need to watch it. It's
Just
just,
that-
I want to like relive my childhood before I watch.
Yeah,
For sure.
I would agree.
But I've heard I think isn't there one with Hugh Jackman or something?
there is one with Hugh
Yeah,
Jackman as well that came out
Good.
a couple of years ago. Yeah, Hook is the movie Spielberg's hardest on himself with.
Yes. It,
But again, kind of like Dark Knight Rises. If this is your worst movie, you're doing okay.
Still
oh,
great.
I think so.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Good
And to
pick,
me,
man.
just so much nostalgia with it. So
No, I mean I haven't seen as much films as you've seen, much less than Johnson
Yeah.
from Spielberg, but like some of the other ones that I know I've heard a lot about, The Color Purple, Empire of the Sun, because Christian Bale is like baby Christian Bale.
Mhm.
And then AI, which you've talked about, Minority Report, which you've talked
Yep.
about,
Yo, dude,
War of the
wanna
Worlds,
see
which
that
is
one.
probably
Yo.
the Spielberg film that I want to watch the most.
absolutely.
I saw a scene from that and I was mildly terrified.
What scene?
I don't know, something with like a giant alien monster.
No,
something.
it's the machines, the actual things that it's.
Freaky.
You remember?
Reminded me of
Sam,
2014
you remember?
Godzilla.
Yes, Sam. Do you remember Justice League, the animated series, the
Mhm.
Secret Origins Part 1, 2, and 3,
absolutely.
the tripod creature that had the lasers.
Yep.
That's exactly what these are, except
Way
they
too
make
loaded.
this weird sound.
Oh,
every
that's
time.
what scared me. I had the audio
I
like
can't wait
on
to
halfway up on my phone, and I was like, nope, I'm turning that down.
Wow.
For you guys. It needs to be war.
Saving Private
Honestly,
Ryan.
No, Saving Private Ryan. No, Schindler's List.
Okay.
Saving Private Ryan.
War of the World. Minority Report.
Yes, Minority Report. AI, artificial intelligence, then War of the Worlds.
Hmm.
I was looking
5
back for a
Spielberg
while.
dramas.
But they're so good, dude. Two of them are sci-fi. Minority Report you will freaking love. Tom Cruise.
Freaking
Yeah.
Wait,
Tom-
AI is Tom Cruise?
No, Tom Cruise is Minority Report and War of the Worlds.
Oh, I didn't know he
He's
was
the
in War.
father of the two kids that he has to protect in this alien invasion.
That's
Tom
awesome.
Cruise is one of those actors
Like George Clooney.
that is almost impossible to just not enjoy in any movie.
Absolutely.
We gotta get our priorities straight. So there's a lot of movies.
We have a lot of movies that we talked about on
We
this
got a lot of
episode.
movies that we gotta watch.
We do.
Like,
No, I was just looking back because I bought The Post that was directed by Spielberg, and I haven't
That's
seen it
pretty
yet.
good.
And I also just saw Catch Me If You Can,
Mm-hmm.
Warhorse, which I've heard a lot about, Bridge of Spies, which I've seen, which I loved, and then The Fablemans, which you said was great.
Oh, the Fablemans.
that will happen soon.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny how many
That was
movies
Bro, he's got the
I
most...
don't watch to
Oh.
wait to watch as a group.
Oh,
That was-
no, I
The
feel the
fa-
same way. Yeah.
The Fablemans will be loved by you.
Yeah.
Will be loved by you.
Yo,
I can't
okay.
wait.
I saw it in the theater.
Tell me we didn't just forget
It's a theater movie.
one of the movies that John Thomas himself has recommended to us the most out of all of Spielberg's film besides JP.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh,
He mentioned it.
I
He mentioned it.
I mentioned it. That movie. Listen. It's,
I'll go die in a hole.
It's before E.T.
Yeah.
Okay.
19
Close Encounters.
That was the same year Star Wars came out.
Richard Dreyfuss is the main character.
I love Richard Dreyfuss.
That sounds familiar.
Hey, Jaws.
The nerd dude with the glasses.
Oh.
Jaws.
Oh,
The
goodness.
shark enthusiast.
And the
pretty much,
Goodbye
science
Girl.
scientist.
They're good fight.
Close Encounters is really freaking good. And
Dude.
it's old school Spielberg.
Yeah.
Ah, it just feels good, dude.
His son's in it too.
This shit feels so good. Those are films, Spielberg films. I honestly, almost all Spielberg films, I think we have to watch together.
Yeah.
With some
Twilight.
popcorn in our hands.
But see, like that
Just-
mount, there's no way I can justifiably, even to Spielberg fans, put him at my number one spot because I have so much of a catalog that I have to go.
I'll say this.
I know he's got the most movies probably out of anyone.
Out of these
mentioned.
big directors, yeah.
I'll say this. I think after watching all of these Spielberg films, I'm not saying he'll beat the top number one. But instead of being like this,
Mhm.
he'll be like this.
Absolutely.
You don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You won't know what to do.
Now it's just a matter of the
I can
movies.
say that,
Yeah.
Like-
bro. I can say that with confidence. That's all I'll say.
No,
I can't wait.
That yeah.
But I'm okay with what you did. I'm okay with it because
It has to be like that right now.
It has to be like that, and I love that you agree with that.
Yep.
But once you see all those, you're gonna be like, oh, shoot, what do I do?
Not to mention Animaniacs.
Yes,
Come on.
If you,
I love
He's
Animaniacs.
just heavily involved with
Yeah.
producing all of the
you guys have talked about this for so long, and I
yeah,
don't know if I've seen any.
Dude,
animation.
Animaniacs, dude, so good.
it's fantastic. Steven Spielberg also loves classic animation, and he
Yeah.
really helped pioneer that kind of re-renaissance for Warner Brothers that doesn't get talked about
Joe
as much.
Dante is also a big proponent of the old school
Mhm.
animation.
Absolutely. Yep. Back in action.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Second Tunes back in action.
Yeah. So just good stuff all around. But we are going to do honorable mentions really quick. We'll just do a quick round of this, going mentioning some people that we didn't get a chance to mention, if you will.
You want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You go first.
'Cause I don't know. You have any?
I have 3.
I have 4, but I already mentioned one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I already mentioned Peter Jackson, director of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, King
Oh,
Kong,
yeah.
and the Hobbit trilogy.
Oh yeah.
hmm
Great director.
Mm-hmm.
Quentin Tarantino was already mentioned by you. I've only seen 3 films: Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill Volume 1, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That'll change them.
They're all
Mm.
really, really good movies. Guillermo, wow, that's hard to say. Del Toro. I've seen 3 of his films: Blade 2, Pacific Rim, Shape of Water.
Guys, when we watch Hellboy 1 and 2, you're gonna be like, why isn't comic book movies like this?
hmm
I guarantee
I'll
I
say.
say like that. But specifically Pacific Rim, I absolutely love that movie.
Oh yeah.
I've seen it so many times. And then Shape of Water,
I cried.
that was
Man.
I
that was
cried,
a
dude.
emotional movie.
I don't
that
normally
I did
cry.
not expect. We went to see that movie out of like, let's
Yeah.
see this movie. You know, like Yeah, it's got an Oscar nomination, and then we saw it, and I was like, holy
Best
crap!
picture.
Best picture and
bunch of
best
movies.
and best score.
One best picture.
2017, right?
Was that
And,
tight?
Yep.
and best score
Yeah, and best score.
over Dunkirk, which is why I wanted to see it, because it beat Dunkirk, which is
Mhm.
Hans Zimmer score, and I was like, no way.
You saw it after
Yeah.
it already
After-
beat Dunkirk?
I think we
No, you went to go see it in theaters.
went to see it in theater.
I really wanted you to watch it, but I watched it with Logan and
Oh no, yeah, I saw it after the fact.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
He went to see it with Logan.
I know
not
that-
Logan the movie, but like Logan.
Yeah. I know that we started it and I fell asleep instantly.
It's a live action Beauty. It's a live action Beauty and the Beast, which is why it's hard to talk about, because animated stuff is easily passed over because it's animated, but when it's live action, it's a whole different story
Mhm.
because there's real people acting.
You're like a test dummy.
Yeah.
But in a good way. Like, I also feel like I need to have him watch that too.
Yeah.
Because it is like Beauty and the Beast. I really
Michael Shannon,
Oh,
Zod,
that's true
Mhm.
too.
he is phenomenal in that movie.
He is as a villain. He's
And the
great.
cinematography, the shot selection, like the
Mhm.
camera angles. I don't know, man. That movie was something else.
Yes, I can't agree. I can't agree more.
And
Yeah.
So good,
and
man.
Pacific Rim. I mean, the Toro knows how to direct. Like, I'll say
Mhm.
that. Like
Easily.
he's got. I mean, I've only seen 3 of his films, but he's got a grand scale
Mhm.
in his mind.
I gotta watch Pan's Labyrinth. I haven't watched that yet. That was his '90s flick. Mimic I watched, which is his first Hollywood film, and that was freaky.
Mhm.
Cockroaches that are human sized that can blend in with humans. It's actually eerie, creepy, and dark, and it's great
Wasn't that
Right.
powerful?
for the most part.
Gosh, that's even creepier.
Yeah, man.
And I have a 4th one. That's it. 4th one. I actually threw in as a joke, and then I thought about it. I was like, no, this actually deserves to be mentioned. Tim Burton.
Absolutely.
Well, now, yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that was one of yours,
It
but
is.
like
Oh, absolutely.
Batman 89, Batman Returns, Sleepy Hollow, and for me, Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
I really love all 4 of those films.
Yeah,
Okay,
even
Edward
more.
Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands.
I
there.
cannot wait
haven't
to watch.
I haven't seen. I didn't see Edward
Yeah.
Scissorhands. And what was it? Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Yep.
See Edward Scissorhands yet?
Nope.
I thought
I
you
own
did.
it.
I thought you saw
I
it. I thought he
did
saw it.
I own so many films.
I thought we
haven't seen.
watched it.
No, we were gonna to, but then we watched something else.
Mm.
Might have
But yeah,
watched that then.
Tim Burton, he is he's an eccentric, strange director,
Absolutely.
but what he does is in a weird way very good.
No, I love Tim Burton. I mean, right off the bat, yeah. I mean,
89 Returns.
one of my honorable mentions, with 89 being one of my favorite movies of all time. Then
Yeah.
you got Returns, Edward Scissorhands, Sleepy Hollow,
Which that
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm just going off the Depp movies now.
I haven't seen that one. I saw the one with was it
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder? I
Well,
always
in
think
the
Gene
Chocolate
Hackman, but Gene Wilder.
Yeah, Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor.
He is.
So then, so Tim Burton, one of my honorable mentions. Judd Apatow, as well,
Yeah,
is actually one of my honorable
dude,
mentions. believe it or
freaking
not.
isn't Knocked Up?
Knocked Up, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Funny People, This Is 40.
Man,
Oh man, what else?
He did Vice.
No, that's Adam McKay.
Adam. Okay.
Was it? Yeah, Adam McKay.
Yeah.
did Vice, right?
Yeah. I get them confused.
They work together.
Yeah.
Often producing a lot of the same movies. Adam McKay did Step Brothers. He did Anchorman. Kind of just leading the pack of comedy in the 2000s.
Judd Apatow was done quite a Bridesmaids.
He produced Bridesmaids.
Oh,
No, not one of his directed.
but yeah, Knocked Up. I think. Did he do Anchorman?
No, he produced it.
Man, Google's
More of a producer, but then he has some directing credits, and he has a style to his direction. He makes a lot of dramedies when it comes to his 40-Year-Old Virgin is the best example of his films. It's a good one.
I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, very good movie. But yes, he was one of my honorable mentions. Also Quentin Tarantino. People like Quentin Tarantino love the tone of movies, but again, been waiting so long to watch. Need to see more.
Yeah.
Need to just start doing it. Martin Scorsese as well. Same exact thing. I've seen, King of Comedy, Taxi Driver, Cape Fear, Wolf of Wall Street.
Do you watch the Netflix one, The Irishman?
I haven't seen The Irishman yet. Haven't
me
seen
too.
Goodfellas yet because that's been one of our key movies that we've been needing to watch that I haven't gotten to. I haven't seen Raging Bull yet. I haven't.
I don't know why I'm reacting. I haven't seen any of them either.
I will say though, I have not. There's not been a Scorsese film that I have not like obsessively loved.
Mm-hmm.
Like all four of those movies I just named. Love those movies. I just can't justifiably put him in my list yet because he's a director with such a library of film that I would be doing him disjustice by putting him in on four movies.
Absolutely.
It's a hard thing.
I guess
Like, he could be there,
He could be there.
but you
I gotta-
preemptively pick him and then watch his films and potentially not like them for some reason.
I think I'm gonna like all of them.
Bro,
But
I mean, I've only seen one Scorsese film. That's Cape Fear.
wow, yeah, we gotta get you
Buckle
a
up.
Taxi Driver.
Buckle up.
That's insane.
Buckle up. That's all
Like-
I'll say.
Yeah.
He's the godfather of
At this, at on one end, I'm excited to watch all of his films or as many as I can because I loved Cape Fear. But on the other end, I know I've heard that Cape Fear is his most non-Scorsese film,
Mhm.
so I'm also a little bit scared.
which is fine because I don't think you have to worry because obviously you have to be accustomed to his style, but you'll be fine.
All
I think you're gonna be like,
great, that new
Mhm.
Apple TV Plus film. That trailer was phenomenal. Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, oh man, it looks
Leo DiCaprio,
insanely good. It might be one of the best movies of the year.
Is it
Yeah, probably.
Nero?
De Niro, yeah. It's so funny. Out of the 4 Martin Scorsese films I've seen, 3 of them star Robert De Niro.
He's I mean, I don't know how many films I've seen with him, probably like a couple or a few,
Mhm.
but he is one of the most legendary actors to ever exist.
Absolutely,
Like there's
hands down.
no debate about that.
Yeah.
Like when we do our actors list, he's probably going to be on my list,
Mhm.
and if he's not on your list, I might question your sanity. So, absolutely, like he's just that good.
Yeah,
And I've only seen him in like 2 or 3 films.
You've
So
seen
I
Meet the
can't
Parents.
imagine. I haven't seen him in that.
yeah. You saw Meet the Parents. I showed you it.
Did I?
We watched it.
I don't know if we did.
Yeah, Ben Stiller, Robert De Niro.
Owen Wilson.
You,
Come on, fucker.
yeah. We watched it
Man,
Dur-
I don't remember.
during our comedy run.
What's crazy is that
I
he
think we-
will be watching. He'd be like, "Oh yeah,
No, I thought we planned to watch it, but we switched it out for something else.
No, we watched the whole thing.
yeah." Was I the one that was kind of like, "Oh my gosh, dude, this dude."
You were stressing out because of how much stuff happens to Ben
I
Stiller, and
forgot how much, dude. I forgot my. And so I was kind of like, "Oh my."
it's a hell of a weekend for him.
I'm
It is,
actually-
man.
I'm actually being that guy looking up Horror Fest ranking right now.
You mean Comedy Central?
Was it Comedy Central?
Yeah.
Why did I say horror?
Meet the Parents as a horror movie.
Yeah, that would be freaky.
Oh, Bridesmaids is a horror movie.
Comedy Central ranking.
I watched
All right.
half of it. I'm like, this is horror.
Wasn't
Is that with
Wow.
Kate Hudson?
Kristen Wiig.
Oh, that one.
Melissa
Bro.
McCarthy.
Mm-mm.
we did? I don't remember watching that movie.
Yeah.
It was at 20 out of 25 for me.
Wow.
Not due to De Niro, I guarantee you.
Probably not.
Probably just the movie. I don't remember what. I don't even remember what
I think
happened.
you also you weren't like me. You weren't like me, but you were also like, holy crap, this dude got so much. I think him and I were pissed.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh yeah,
damn, this dude gets-
I hated that movie because there's so much crap that happened. to him.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like it would be us. We're trying to be with a girl, and, like meet their parents and shit.
Wow.
We're like, oh, boy, sorry.
Yeah, that was my bad. I literally stopped that movie. Anyway, that was Sam's? That was all about Sam's second pick.
Those are all about my honorable mentions.
Wow,
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
That.
So we're closing in now, John. Number 1 pick. We're giving it over to you. Who is your
boys.
favorite director?
No spoilers to you guys, but it's a director that has shaped pop culture from the 70s, 80s, and onward. Has created and directed my favorite film of all time. Has directed many memorable movies, and I just love his style. It feels good. That is Steven Spielberg.
There he is.
It just feels good. I think, like I said with you, when I watch his films, I smell popcorn. And I'm ready. Especially his old school E.T., Jurassic Park, Jaws, Saving Private Ryan, Schindler's List, all of those films. Even his 2000s and onward, AI, Minority Report, all these films.
Yeah.
So War of the Worlds, such great cinema. He is a auteur and literally defines blockbuster for me. So good. Steven Spielberg, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, I knew that one.
Yeah,
I knew that one.
it was pretty. For you two, no shock.
Process of elimination.
Yeah, pretty much.
But also, how do you not know John's favorite director? I mean,
That's true. Fair enough.
How do you not know mine?
how do you not know yours?
That's
Right.
pretty.
From what I guessed from yours, how do I not know yours? So
Maybe you don't.
anyway, my favorite film director of all time has also directed my favorite film of all time, which is On the Wall Behind John.
Oh.
That is none other than Christopher Nolan.
There he is.
I have seen 12 out of 12 of his films.
Good as all.
I've seen all of his films.
Yeah.
I actually own all of his films besides Oppenheimer because it's literally not out yet where I can own it. So
Yeah, you do own them all.
Ooh, Steelbook or regular?
I own.
No, I'm saying like as far as for Oppenheimer, will you get the regular or Steelbook?
Is too much asked. for both.
4K? What do you
But at least either 4K or Steelbook. It deserves a 4K or Steelbook buy.
I would agree. I think 4K. Believe it or not, 4K before Steelbook actually.
4K
Because you want
before
that,
Steelbook.
you want that pristine picture. More than collector's edition.
Right.
No,
Absolutely.
Am I wrong?
there are some 4K
No.
Steelbooks,
See that.
but usually the 4K Blu-rays have even cooler covers than
do.
the
They do.
Steelbooks.
I'll be
Yeah.
curious to know what what the covers will be for all those though.
It's just having the technology to back it.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
I have Inception, Interstellar, Dunkirk, and Tenet on Steelbook right now.
And you don't have Dark Knight?
No, I bought the trilogy on 4K Blu-ray and
yeah.
regular Blu-ray
I have
and
that big
DVD.
Steelbook and
You
Dark
do.
Knight
That's where I've
Steelbook.
seen it. Yeah.
I bought that in LA.
That's right.
Perfect.
I
I
remember
prefer
that
the
day.
Batman Begins Steelbook over the Dark Knight look, by the way.
The Steelbook one is where he's carrying Rachel.
On Batman Begins?
Yeah. Versus well no, that's the back of the Steelbook. The Batman Begins Steelbook is him and then Batman like this with the whole
Yes.
the whole bats, and then you have Dark Knight. That's the same poster, him looking down with the buildings and whatnot. You prefer that one?
I remember looking at them. Because the Batman Begins one had more Batman, more theatrical. I actually not crazy about the Dark Knight's posters.
Yeah. Well, the ones with the more stylized ones with the Joker
Yeah.
are great.
The Why So Serious one.
Oh, that's my favorite one.
That's amazing.
I remember when
Everything
that
else I agree.
first showed up at
Yeah,
AMC
dude.
20, man. That was exciting.
Ooh, goosebumps.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think Batman Begins posters are better, especially if you just have Batman really looking down like this. And
So good.
Some of the Rises promotional posters with Bane and the one with the broken Batman cowl.
with Bane in the background. Oh, yeah,
Man.
that was good. That was good.
Dark Knight is my favorite Batman movie, but the poster I have up in my room is of the Dark Knight, but I much would prefer having 89, and I don't know why I didn't order that one.
Yeah,
that
the
one with
you
89 is better.
and me both.
Yeah.
Dark
both.
Knight is definitely a more cliche poster
Yes.
of a superhero film, while
Yeah,
still being better than most superhero posters ever.
Absolutely.
But it's definitely more cliche.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But Christopher Nolan, 12 films. There's no bad film.
No, not
There you
at all.
go.
Literally no bad film. Like you said earlier, a while ago.
Yeah.
Possibly having Rises as his worst film, which I don't think it's his worst film in my opinion, but it's down there,
Yeah.
Low. Possibly, I don't even know, man. It's hard to rank Nolan films because they're all great. that just says volumes as to how good of a director and a filmmaker he is,
Absolutely.
and how he takes the actors, the whole production and crew together and makes them want to be a part of his
Yeah,
film.
look at Oppenheimer.
Like the cast on that is just stacked.
They all want to work with him.
I mean, like he takes the most intellectual ideas and puts them to screen in a way that blows your mind and also you can understand.
And that can be a blockbuster.
A blockbuster. I mean,
Boom.
the Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Inception, Interstellar, Tenet, still a blockbuster. Oppenheimer, even though it's 3 hours and rated R, I consider it a blockbuster. Rises.
It was. I mean,
Rises was that was the first film I saw with him him in theaters. I think that was the first film I saw from Nolan. And then I watched The Dark Knight, and then I watched Batman Begins.
first Nolan film I saw in theaters was Oppenheimer.
Wow, that's even crazier than me.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What a film to see for the first time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
in
man.
theater.
We were all just silent, but we could feel each other's like
Yeah.
invested.
The whole time.
It felt good to see you both eating popcorn, even though I didn't eat popcorn. I saw you guys eating popcorn. That
I will
says
always
something.
get popcorn.
Absolutely, but this was like different.
Yes.
You were like, bro, that says something. You're like,
I'm already
I want to eat
talking.
popcorn
Yeah.
to stay up. You're just more like, I'm
That's it.
invested.
Yeah, that's the look.
No, like that. I mean,
Impressive.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what I was gonna say, but like it's just. Oh yeah, talk 3 hour film. Another one that doesn't feel like 3 hours, like The Shining. That I think we talked about on the Oppenheimer review. It felt like 2 hours 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Like-
it's good. Yeah, easily.
And some throwing shade at Marvel, but some 2 hour Marvel films feel like 3 hours because they're just not
they
good.
do.
That's a good point.
100%.
Not just Marvel. There's a lot of films that just don't do good with their runtime. Like you got to have a good script, a good compelling
You
story.
gotta make it worth going 3 hours.
And I mean, it's not just the director's fault. It's all
Yeah.
he's got to direct the actors, but it's also the actors for delivering their performance. But yeah,
Captivate.
captivation is a huge aspect of a film that that does get overlooked.
And Oppenheimer did not
Oh.
feel it at all.
Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, but Josh Peck, Jason, yeah,
That's still weird. To say.
Jason
Yeah.
Clark.
That's so still weird to
Like-
say. He's, oh, look, Josh Peck.
I mean,
Pressing that button.
Yeah.
Jason Clark, Kenneth Branagh, Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh,
Stellar
like
cast, man.
so
Stellar
many
cast.
people.
Gary Oldman.
Gary
Oldman,
dude.
Yeah.
man.
Okay. Unrecognizable.
Easily.
No,
He
the only
always is.
Always is.
the only people he was missing was Christian Bale and Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Yeah. First non-Michael Caine in a while. Unless he wasn't in
He was
Dunkirk.
No, he-
It was in Dunkirk. No.
he wasn't.
No. That's the only one.
Was he in Tenet?
He was in Tenet.
Yeah. Well, that's cool though. You know, he's not just shoving him in the movies. He's using him
Yeah.
when needed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, as we all know, Inception,
Your
the
favorite movie?
GOAT, the greatest of all time films. You fight me on it.
Yeah.
I mean, your guys' 2 picks for greatest of all time is great picks. I will always win with Inception. It's got everything.
Yeah. Hey, yeah.
That's all I'll say. But
There you
you know, no disrespect to your guys' picks because I love them too.
Yeah.
I don't even know what your pick is because
My pick has been in limbo since we started Cinema 3D.
Yeah, I feel like it used to be a Zemeckis film and now it might be a Nolan film.
It used to be a
And with
Zemeckis
that-
film and now it might be a
And with
Nolan
that
film.
being said, Sammy Boy.
So my number one, while traditionally I have always stated that Steven Spielberg is my favorite director because of a Spielberg film being pretty much, I guess, my favorite type of movie, that type of movie. However, when I went and looked at my favorite movies of all time and I looked at who is actually there the most frequent and what director have I seen their entire catalog of, the only answer is in fact Christopher Nolan. I have seen I've seen 12 out of 12 Christopher Nolan films.
You have.
I've seen every Christopher Nolan film.
Wow. That's impressive.
With The Dark Knight being tentatively my favorite movie of all time. I think it is.
Yeah. No, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it traditionally always has been Back to the Future, but as time has gone on, it slowly has developed into The Dark Knight being my favorite movie.
Wow.
The Dark Knight.
This was a couple
Back to
years
the
ago,
Future.
guys.
This was last time I've watched it like probably like 4 or 5 more times since we watched
said the
it.
same thing on the 80s episode, so you've been struggling with this for a while.
I did, and I said it back when we watched The Dark Knight during our DC watch through, where I was like,
Yeah.
I think it is my favorite movie.
Yeah.
And then every time since then, it has to be my favorite movie
Yeah.
because
It's
there's no movie.
So solidified then.
It is.
There's no
Dark
movie
Knight.
that makes you feel that way.
No.
Like,
Impressive. Most
Impressive. So you got that's enough credit right there as The Dark Knight being my favorite movie. But then following that, 2 movies in my top 10 with Dark Knight and Batman Begins.
mhm.
Following that, Dark Knight Rises, Prestige, Oppenheimer, Insomnia. All of those movies are creeping their way into my top 50.
Yeah.
And no director has that many films in my top 50.
Mhm.
That's only Christopher Nolan.
That's
right.
absolutely insane.
Yep. And not even the what's crazy is I like Interstellar a lot. I love Inception. Inception would be the next one
Yeah.
after Insomnia. But it's some of his ones that don't get talked about enough.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Insomnia, Prestige in particular, like those 2 do not get mentioned enough, and I think they're 2 of my favorite
Fair.
movies of all time.
I love
and that is one, not the main reason, obviously, but like that's one of the reasons why I love Inception the most,
Mm-hmm.
and why The Dark Knight is in my top 5 of all time,
Mm-hmm.
which I think it's actually 3.
If I remember right, it's 3.
Yeah, I think it's 3. I have like, I don't want to spoil it, but
Yeah.
I have Inception at 1 and Dark Knight at 3
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact that those 2 movies are so good
Mm-hmm.
and they're so rated highly by so many people in
Yeah.
the world that all of a sudden there's so many people that just say, oh, they're bad,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just like they're mid or they're overrated because people just assume that it's just not good because too many people talk about them. It's like no,
people.
I mean-
too many people talk about it because they're just good.
because they're good.
They are. Yeah.
It's like, why do you think
Some
people
things are
talk
just good.
about? Why do you think
What it
people talk
is.
about The
Yeah.
Godfather? Why do you think people talk about?
And even
Like-
I was like, come on, is Godfather Part 1 and 2 really that good? I watched it, I'm like, crap.
Yeah, like, That's how you.
That's how I
feel.
felt about Avatar.
But even I can submit.
like-
even I can submit and be like,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Same thing.
I guarantee you, these people who are hating on films like The Dark Knight or The Godfather or Inception or even Avatar or
Mhm.
or films of that nature, they watch them and they love them, and then they go on the internet and they're like, nah.
Yeah.
it-
I fight for Avatar now because you'll be hard to find like somebody who actually says Avatar is a good movie. It's just like a thing now to say Avatar isn't a good movie.
Bro, it's
Yeah.
so
And
stupid.
It's such a phenomenal movie.
Like, it is.
I mean, it is.
such a great film.
If it wasn't the highest grossing film of all time, then no one would say that. No one would watch Avatar and be like,
Yeah.
oh, that wasn't that good.
Hmm.
What?
No. It's so stupid. And why do you think The Way of Water made as much money as it did? Now it's
I
like
don't-
what, in the top 5 of all
Mhm.
time as well? Like,
Absolutely. Not every,
It's the same people that say Endgame is mid.
not every movie that's high grossing necessarily is good. Lion King live action, I don't like.
No, no. The Lion King original is,
Some movies just
That-
bring in the crowds.
Boom.
yeah, and that's
and
the gray area.
Yeah.
it's show business.
Yep, absolutely.
So,
Disney's good at bringing the business in, but then you might go and see the movie and
yeah,
quality isn't there.
absolutely.
And
But then you
like, I
have-
understand.
Mhm.
Good.
I understand everything is opinionated.
Everything is at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
there is-
subjective.
There is. I thought of this like a few weeks ago, and I
Hmm.
wanted to say it.
You gonna down this hill? What are you gonna do?
No, ready? Ready? I gotta remember this. S- Objectively,
Hmm.
subjective opinions are better than objective opinions.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you have more leeway.
Yes, because it's not just you're not
It's not just-
you're not a cog in the machine.
Yeah.
You actually have an identity. You have a personality.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're not just trying to get views.
No, I mean,
Man,
it's
that
not
was,
just fact.
It was on the nose, but I don't care, man. It just
that was perfect.
It just
Mhm.
pisses me off, man. Like, there's so many people who just like just say stuff that they don't actually agree with
Mm-hmm.
just to get people to like them,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't get, because there's people like us who appreciate films that people hate that will
Mhm.
like us. So why don't you just say what you really feel?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I really feel. I feel like Dark Knight and Inception and films like we talked about, Godfather, stuff like that, that should be held to their high standard, are talked about in bad form just because people want to be different, you know?
Absolutely.
I agree. That's a good TikTok, Instagram riff right there. Congratulations, you did that on purpose.
I'm glad I remembered it, but I also did do it on purpose.
That's a great quote as well. It's also going on the plaque.
Yep, there you go.
It's gonna go on the wall.
There you go. So with that, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. We hope you guys enjoyed all the conversation. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.